Bob. Oh, wait, I'm in front of Rich.
Oh, yeah, let's go down one more.
I'm moving down again.
Amy?
Down.
Sorry.
This should be Rick's though. Should, isn't Rick in the middle? You need to move back. Rick's in the middle, right? Yeah. You gotta scooch down.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all very much for being here today. This is a very special occasion for a lot of reasons, and that will be explained to you by the people and the participants as we move forward. But to all of you who also thought enough to be here today, thank you very much. I would also specifically like to thank at this time the City of Joliet for giving us this wonderful City Council chambers for our ability to come in and do this swearings-in for both of these judges today. We didn't have any room over at the courthouse. The City of Joliet was very good and nice about offering this facility for us. So thanks to the City of Joliet and all of their people who worked very hard to help us put this together. I would also like to introduce at this time some of the people and dignitaries who are here today. It's my pleasure to announce them. I would ask that any applause hold off until the end. We have Denise Winfrey from the County Board. We have Edward Masters here, former Chief Judge and State's Attorney. We have Steve White, former Chief Judge. We have Larry Hugg from Joliet City Council. Pam McGuire, our Circuit Clerk. Robert Odekirk, Joliet City Council. Tom Durante, Mayor of Joliet. Mike Hostigan, the Director of Court Services. We have Ray Bolden here, former Judge, Will County. Roman Oakry, also former Circuit Judge. Mel Rule is here. He's the Executive Director of the Public Building Commission. We have Greg DeBoard, First Assistant Public Defender. Pat McGuire, our State Senator from Joliet. Frank Estrella is here, our Public Defender. Chuck Pelkey is here representing State's Attorney James Glasgow. Jeff Tomzak is here, former State's Attorney. John Gurl, Joliet City Councilman, is here. Tom Dunn, former Judge, Will County. Reagan Freitag, County Board Member, is here. Ken Kopis, Chief Deputy, Will County Sheriff, representing Paul Kopis, the Sheriff, is here. William McMiniman, former Judge, Circuit Judge, is here. Tom Thanis, former Circuit Judge and current Joliet City Manager, is here. Special thanks to Tom for helping me set this up. Larry Walsh Jr. is here, State Representative. And I know there's probably a couple that I'm missing off of this list. Nancy, I know you're here. Where are you? Nancy Voots? I saw her outside. I know she's here someplace. She's our county clerk. Did I miss anybody? Thank you all very much for being here. And to now I'd introduce the most important person in this room is my mom is here, Rita Davis, who has probably thought 1,000 times she should have stopped at my sister, and she's probably thinking that right now. All right. Moving on. Also, Chief Justice Tom Kilbride could not be here today, and he extends his congratulations and best wishes to both Dave Garcia and Dave Carlson. I have a couple of administrative orders to read. The first one is the Administrative Order number 13-26, the appointment of David Martin Carlson, Associate Judge. And the order reads as follows. All provisions of Rule 39 of the Supreme Court of the State of Illinois having been complied with by the Circuit Judges of the 12th Judicial Circuit of said state, and Attorney David Martin Carlson having received the most votes cast by said Circuit Judges as determined by tally of the ballots of the Administrative Office of the Illinois Courts, and being declared eligible for appointment to the office of Associate Judge of the 12th Judicial Circuit, now, therefore, it is hereby ordered that said attorney, David M. Carlson, 24343 Linden Lane, Plainfield, Illinois, be and is hereby appointed to the office of Associate Judge of the 12th Judicial Circuit, this order to be effective on the 14th date of August 2013. And now I would introduce from the Bar Association of Will County, Tom Polachek, who will be our, essentially our host for the morning. So, Mr. Polachek?
Thank you, Judge. May it please the court. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Polachek. I'm one of the vice presidents for the Will County Bar Association, and I'd like to extend our best wishes and our welcome to you on this auspicious occasion. On behalf of the Bar Association, I would like to tell our judges, our new judges, congratulations, and we wish you good luck in the future. Now, I would like now to introduce David Martin Carlson and present him to Judge Schoenstedt for the purpose of being sworn in as Associate Judge of Will County.
Mr. Carlson?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. You ready?
I am.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, David Martin Carlson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Associate Judge
the duties of Associate Judge
of the Circuit Court
of the Circuit Court
for the 12th Judicial Circuit of Illinois,
for the 12th Judicial Circuit of Illinois,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On behalf of the Will County Bar Association and its membership, we would like to provide this gift to Judge Carlson. A gavel. Again, good luck.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you
Treat
very
us
much.
well.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave?
Hey, I'm sorry, we're both walking away. Now, let me take your gavel, and I'd like to introduce Chantal Host, President of the Will County Women's Bar Association, to provide you with yet another gift.
Your Honors,
Ms. Host?
congratulations.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Women's Bar Association, I'd like to present this clock as a gift. We're very proud of you and excited to watch you in your new endeavor.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'd like to introduce Sherry Hale, the immediate past president of the Will County Black Bar Association, to present yet another gift.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On behalf of our president, who could not be here, Joel Brown, and the entire membership of the Black Bar Association of Will County, we congratulate you and wish you well on your journey in the judiciary.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
Before you forget, you have a very important document you need to sign, the oath of office. So
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, you fit in right. Real well.
your signature looks like all the rest of ours, but all right. Judge Carlson, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Tom?
much. Thank you.
Now, next, I would like to introduce, to speak on behalf of Judge Carlson, Attorney John Bolero.
Well, let me start off by asking, is it official? So nothing I will say here is going to change anything, I hope. When Dave first called me to ask me if I would speak, I was honored beyond words. Who wouldn't be, to be able to stand up here and speak in his behalf? And then there was a long pause that followed that. And he said, the next thing he said made me think, wow, he is already beginning to think like a judge. He said, be brief. And I said, well, yes, of course, I'll be brief. And there was another long pause, and he said, no, really, be brief, not more than a minute or two. So I will try to be as brief as I can, but I have known Dave Carlson for almost all of his life. Our family has shared so many times together. We vacationed together, we celebrated holidays together, birthdays together, special events. I have so many thoughts in my mind to express here today that I think would demonstrate how he has prepared himself for this moment, how he is so well qualified for this moment. And as I thought about what remarks I would make and then thought, be brief, I really don't know how it is humanly possible to squeeze everything in that would need to be said. But I think I have some relief here because I know everybody in this room here today knows Dave very well and know in spite of anything anyone could say that he is tremendously qualified for the position that he is about to undertake. Everyone who knows Dave Carlson knows that he's probably the most friendly and likable person you're ever going to meet. Now, I had some things to say here about friendly and likable, but a bailiff, Jack Sussman here today, expressed it far better than I could express it. I introduced myself to him and I said that I was going to be speaking on behalf of David, and these were his words. He said, "You know what? This couldn't happen to a better guy." He said, "I spent many years with Dave in the courtroom, and he always came up to me with a big smile on his face. He always shook my hand. There was never an occasion at any time in the courtrooms that he was in where he was anything other than professional, friendly, and engaging." He said, even up until today, when I don't see him that often, if I encounter him on the street, he walks directly up to me, shakes my hand, has a big smile on his face, and it's like we haven't seen each other for quite some time. I mean, I don't think I could have put that any better, and I have a sense from knowing Dave that anyone in this room who knows him probably has the same feelings about him. Aside from his being one of the most personable people you could imagine ever encountering and getting to know, we also know Dave is very smart. And when it comes to serious things, he can really weigh in, especially if you're talking about the law and talking about his profession, his practice, rather. Everyone here probably knows that he's been in practice for a number of years, a couple decades probably. Has it been that long, Dave?
Yeah.
2 decades? Okay. And during that period of time, he has, I think, probably acquired a reputation as being an excellent litigator. I mean, I practice in Cook County, so I don't get to see Dave every day in the courtroom, but from what I hear and from what I do know of, and I'm not surprised, he is in fact considered to be one of the better litigators, a fine litigator in Will County. I'm not surprised about that either, because Dave has a very unique quality. And I would say that this is a quality that most of our judges have. I've seen this, experienced this many times. Judges instinctively know how to take very complicated things and get them down to the very essential points. Can't tell you the number of times I've heard, "Get to the point, Mr. Bolero, get to the point." And I think that's something he has always done naturally. Attorneys work hard at that, and as the judges probably know, we don't often get it right. We struggle with the issues and with the law and cases to try to come up with those things which we think will be persuasive to the judges. It's very hard to do. I first saw all of these things come together for David a number of years ago when my wife Jay, who's seated there, and I were invited to his law school graduation. You wouldn't be surprised to know that his law school class asked him to give the graduation speech. And as I sat there and listened to the speech, it was so remarkable that he could, with great ease and humor and passion, speak to people that he had never encountered before. He synthesized the law school experience that all of us who are in the profession have shared, the long hours and the ups and the downs, and also the camaraderie and the bonding that we experience as law students. And he also perfectly expressed, I think, the excitement that all the students were having about And I think maybe we can remember that moment when we first got that diploma, the excitement about embarking on a new profession. Now, after that speech, I couldn't wait to do what I had planned to do for some time, and that is Dave to join our law firm. And I was able to twist his arm into doing it, and he joined our firm and practiced with us for some time. And you could immediately see, you give him an assignment, and you could see how his mind worked. He was able to figure that out, and you knew instantly that he was going to make an excellent civil litigator, as we do civil law. Actually, if I can just make an aside comment, I didn't know whether I should say this or not. None of my children decided to go into the professional law, which has always surprised me a little bit, because I think children typically will follow in their mother or father's footsteps, but they decided to go in other directions. And I'm not sure what directions those are just now, but there are other directions. And I had always hoped that David could someday take over for my role in the firm. But things change, as they always do. There are always surprises. And one day, Dave came to me and he said, I'm thinking of moving my family to Will County. And I was devastated. But I didn't want to express that to him. And I was sad. But as I thought about it, it occurred to me, what better place would there be than to take your family and raise them in Will County? And what better place would there be for a young attorney to launch a career in the law than Cook County, or Will County, I'm sorry. Cook County is entirely different. And I don't want to disparage Cook County, but we know what the differences are between the two of them. So Dave, he had been offered a job with the state's attorney's office, and he had accepted it. And I think at this particular point, most of you know the rest of the story. If I can just take a moment, I'm getting a little dry. He joined the state's attorney's office, and I think there he learned how to really be a litigator. He steeped himself in criminal law. He probably knows criminal law as well as anyone, except the judges we have here today. And he also learned his way around the courtroom. Now, I don't know that the general public knows this, but those individuals who actually run the courtroom are the clerks. And Dave had a really appreciation for them, and I see some of them here today. And I think he would want to express himself how much the experience with that world and that of litigation meant to him. He handled serious cases. He did administrative work. He did everything that one would need to do to acquire the great experience of being a litigator. And then he decided to open up his own practice. You all know this. It's a very successful practice. In fact, Dave told me a week or two ago that he was sad to be leaving the practice, not because of the practice itself, but more so because of the people there. The friends that he had made, the people that he had worked with for a long time. Dave recently ran for state's attorney here in Cook County. It was a difficult campaign. He ran against the incumbent, who had the good fortune of being in the news just about every day. But I think in spite of that, if anyone looked closely at what he had accomplished, I think you would say he did tremendously well. In fact, I think the pundits would say he did well beyond what would have been expected as a newcomer in the political area. And now we are at the point where Dave has reached, I think, the pinnacle of our profession. I mean, there is no higher place that you can go than to have been elevated to the position of a judge. Now, I knew one other man in my life, just one other man, who had all of these qualities and had all of this potential in his life. He was a man that I respected greatly. He's a man that I had a great deal of affection for. It's Dave Carlson's father. But he was taken from us all too soon in life, fortunately. I first met Brett Carlson when we were young attorneys fresh out of law school, and we had landed a job with the state's attorney's office, some irony here, and we were assigned to financial crimes. I remember when I told my wife, I was really excited. I said, I got an offer to be with the state's attorney's to join the state's attorney's office in financial crimes. And her first words were, these are her exact words, do they know you can't balance your checkbook? Well, it didn't matter that I couldn't balance my checkbook because Brent Carlson could balance a checkbook. And I followed him around for the time we were together, just taking his lead on all things, and we were able to succeed. He was really a brilliant individual as well as other things. And then one day, something very magical happened. Brent Carlson was appointed as a judge to the Circuit Court of Cook County. And he became a great judge, respected by all, loved by many. And today I see a mirror reflection of these two great men. And I can say with great confidence, and I know everyone feels the same way about this, that Dave will make an outstanding member of the already illustrious judiciary of Will County. If I can just conclude by saying one thing. I think if Dave's father were here today, as he should be in my place, he would say these words. He would say, David, you've made your mother and I very proud, not only for what you've accomplished today, but because of the man you've become. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bolero. It is now my great honor to introduce Judge Dave Carlson to make some remarks.
What can I say? Thank you, John. It's thanks for leaving me with that. That's getting me off to a good start here. Your Honors, thank you very much. I can't thank you enough. You've given me an opportunity. I say this, it's the second greatest honor of my life. The first being Alexis and Zoe's dad. I have to thank, obviously it's like the Academy Awards, sometimes you feel like you have to thank everybody, and I'm hoping to do this in a very quick manner, but I have to thank Lori, Alexis, Zoe, for sticking through all this for the last few years, and I couldn't be luckier to have you. My mom Janet Carlson is here, my sister and my brother-in-law Steve Mellencamp, my little nephew Charlie and Victoria, and we're just so happy. We're all within about 5 minutes of each other in Plainfield, and it's become kind of a nice little family nest there in Wheatland Township. So we're very, very happy. I have to thank my Uncle Keith, my dad's brother. Thank you for being here. My uncles. I go down the row and I have my Uncle John, my Uncle Tony, and my godfather, Carrie Clant, my aunts, Aunt Georgia, Maria, Kathy, Barb, and my cousins, Peter, who are here. Obviously, Mrs. Bolero. Thank you for putting up with me over how many years. Now, I know Judge Schoenstedt is absolutely petrified of this because I have a captive audience, and if John spoke for 1 or 2 minutes, I had about a 10-minute speech planned. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's here. As it relates to my law partners and my family at the practice, Ken, Bob, Leslie, Olivia, Jamie, and Jill, I'm going to miss you guys tremendously. It's been a good little run. Brian Dorian's here, someone who changed the way I look at the way the law is handled, the way we have to hold ourselves out as lawyers and now as a judge, and I hope to make everybody in this room as proud and be as diligent as I was with you, Brian. Dave, I have to say to you, it's an absolute honor to be sharing this day with you. what you're doing here historically for the people of Will County is something that I am proud to say that I got sworn in with Dave Garcia. So my hats are off to you. John touched on this, and one of the things that has been absolutely important to me is obviously my dad. Obviously, we wish he was here, but I think a lot of things in this world happen because of opportunities or losses that cause you to do different things. Today, I'm wearing a robe that my dad wore. One of the things that we often talk about is filling the shoes, filling someone's shoes. Well, my responsibility today is to fill his robe. Now, I know a lot of people that I know will look at me and say, well, the way I eat, I probably won't have a hard time doing that. But in reality, it is a daunting task. One of the greatest honors about being named an associate and being placed in this position by your honors is that you become a peer of your fathers, which I think every generation strives for. Every generation strives to do as well, if not better, than the generation before. And to actually be here and experience this and looking out, it's bittersweet, it's surreal. And the one thing I will say is this: I think we have to set goals for ourselves, set standards with which we have to live by and practice law by and be a judge by. And a couple weeks ago, I went down to the Daly Center where my dad's chambers were. And I went and talked to some of the people that were there, and they came out of the back, and there was a plaque that they had in 1303 of the Daly Center after my dad had passed away. And one of the last, on the plaque, there was a line, and the line was something that his peers came up and dedicated this to him. And I hope and I pray that I can hold the same position 20 years from now when my peers look at me. And this is what I strive to do. This is what they said about my dad, and I hope to fill, as I said, his robe. He met challenges with humor and optimistic resolve, a man of honor dedicated to the principles of justice. Thank you.
Hold on, Tom. Thank you. Judge Carlson, thank you very much. Now I have another administrative order I'd like to read. Administrative Order Number 13-27, the appointment of David Garcia, Associate Judge. All provisions of Rule 39 of the Supreme Court of the State of Illinois having been complied with by the Circuit Judges of the 12th Judicial Circuit of said state, and Attorney David Garcia having received the most votes cast by said circuit judges as determined by tally of the ballots by the Administrative Office of the Illinois Courts, and being declared eligible for appointment to the office of Associate Judge of the 12th Judicial Circuit. Now, therefore, it is hereby ordered that said attorney, David Garcia, 309 Woodworth Avenue, Joliet, Illinois, be and he is hereby appointed to the office of Associate Judge of the 12th Judicial Circuit, this order effective the 14th day of August, 2013. Dave, would you please approach?
Your Honor, it is my privilege to present Judge David Garcia for administration of the oath of office.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palachuk. All right, Mr. Garcia, you ready?
Yeah.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, David Garcia,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of Associate Judge
the duties of Associate Judge
of the Circuit Court for the 12th Judicial Circuit
of the Circuit Court of the 12th Judicial Circuit
of Illinois
of Illinois
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Judge Garcia, congratulations.
It's my honor to extend this token to the Will County Bar Association. Congratulations. You know what, I'll take this from you. Okay.
congratulations. It's been my pleasure to work with you in the past. I will miss working with you, but I will enjoy seeing you up on the bench. And on behalf of the Women's Bar Association, we'd like to give you this gift. And we congratulate you, and we wish you the best. Congratulations.
On behalf of the membership of the Black Bar Association of Will County, we offer you this token and wish you the best as you blaze new trails here in Will County. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Judge Garcia, if you would, please. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to introduce Sergeant Rolando Matos to deliver remarks regarding Judge Garcia.
So, if you're wondering about the shirt, this is what your retirement looks like. Okay. So, I'm supposed to follow that guy over there. Forget it, man. He just blew me out of the water. But I wrote a few things here about how I feel about Dave here. Alexander von Humboldt Elementary School, Tooley High School, Humboldt Park. Latin Kings, Latin Disciples, Spanish Cobras, Spanish Lords. Single working mother, low-income jobs. This was the environment that Dave, our families, and friends grew up in. Life didn't hold any guarantees for any of us. We lived life day to day, not knowing what the future had in store for us. Very early in our lives, some of us had our goals. Mine was to be a police officer. Dave had decided early on that he wanted to be a lawyer. We completed our early education and continued on. We worked what jobs we could find just to survive, but deep inside, we knew that we wanted to accomplish. Dave worked at Newlyweds in Chicago, and work he did. He worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And he just kept on working. With the support of his wife, Chris, he managed to support his family. I was lucky enough to get on with the Illinois State Police at a young age. Dave and his family were there for my graduation. He was proud of my accomplishment because, you see, Dave's just not a friend. Dave's my brother. I've known Dave since 1965. We grew up together. So, as far as friendship's concerned, that doesn't qualify. Dave's my brother. Okay, Dave then took a leap of faith and started going back to school to complete his education and go into law. Dave graduated from law school, and I couldn't be any more proud of him. He set up his law office and patiently waited for his clientele list to build up. Countless hours of playing solitaire on his computer. Waiting for that first innocent until proven guilty guy to come to his office. Dave, they weren't all innocent. His practice took off, and Dave found himself where he always wanted to be, in a courtroom, arguing his case. The years went by, and Dave became a success. When he told me he wanted to be a judge, I had no doubt in my mind whatsoever that he would accomplish that goal also. And now here we are celebrating Dave's accomplishment. Well, let me see. Cops make arrests, prosecutors prosecute, defense attorneys defend, and usually those are either liked or disliked by the defendant. Judges, not particularly liked by cops, not particularly liked by prosecutors, not particularly liked by defense attorneys, definitely not liked by defendants because they usually get the sentence they don't want to hear. All these people not disliking judges. You want to tell me exactly why it is you want this job? whatever. Okay, but seriously, Dave, you'll make a good judge. You are smart, have common sense, and most of all, you have a good heart. Any police officer, prosecutor, defense attorney, or defendant should consider themselves lucky when they are in your courtroom, because all of them will be treated fairly by you. For those of us, I'm sure a lot of you are acquainted with Dave, but like I said, we grew up together. We grew up in a neighborhood that, well, basically, if you had told us 45 years ago, when we were still living in the Humboldt Park area, that I would go and become an Illinois State Trooper and retire after 27 and a half years, or that Dave would become a lawyer and then become a judge, yeah, me and Dave would have gone, yeah, get out of here. We saw the neighborhood when we were younger for what it was, and we weren't kidding ourselves when we were younger. We got older. We lost a lot of friends, and we came to realize there's got to be a way out of here, and that's when we both made our decisions to do what we were going to do. A cousin of mine who unfortunately is not here today, he was going to try to make it. He grew up same neighborhood in that, and now he's an accomplished chef up in Aurora. Owns his own restaurant, and he's successful. And every time I look back, and my wife and I go back to the old neighborhood because we live in LaSalle County, Peru, Illinois, and good luck finding Puerto Rican food there. Not gonna happen. So about once every couple of months, we have to do a little pilgrimage, go up to Chicago and get the things we need to get to make our Puerto Rican food, and we come back with about $300 worth of stuff in the trunk, ice chest, make sure everything doesn't thaw out on us, and then we go back and do this again. But every time I go back to that old neighborhood, we pass either by Clemente High School, or pass by Von Humboldt School, or Humboldt Park, and I look around, and I say, well, we made it out of there. Me and Dave made it out of that neighborhood, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't. But for the people that don't, and try to blame it on the environment, try to blame it on the gangs and stuff like that, no, I say that's a lot of baloney, because they're not facing any other challenges that me and Dave did not face on a day-to-day basis, and we made it out of there. So if some kids from Humboldt Park sitting here goes, no, you guys were perfect. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. But Dave, I'm so proud of you today. When you called me up 2 or 3 weeks ago and told me about it, I mean, my wife and I were sitting down at a restaurant called Cabin Fever, and I put the phone down, and I told him he made it, he got it. And I could not I just kept saying over and over, I can't believe it, Dave's gonna be a judge. Only sad part about that is that my brother passed away June 25th, almost 2 months ago. And like I said, we're all brothers. Dave's our brother. We knew my brother was sick, and kind of knew he was not gonna make it. And he asked, about Dave, and I told him, you know what, he's up for judgeship, and I think he's going to get it this time. And my brother Pete said, well, he gave me the thumbs up, he was real weak, and he says, yeah, I knew he'd make it. And we all knew Dave was going to make it. It's only a matter of time. But we're all proud of him. And for all of you who have worked with Dave on a day-to-day basis in court, or just know him from outings and stuff like that, you know what kind of Dave is, what kind of person Dave is. A little too stubborn sometimes, okay? But I shouldn't talk, okay? Because it must be the Hispanic side of us, I guess. But he's made us all proud. And I know that he's gonna do a great job sitting up on that bench. Because if anything else, like I said, Dave's got a good heart, he's got a big heart. And he's gonna do right by everybody that's in that courtroom. And you're gonna be a success, bro. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant. It is now my great honor to present Judge David Garcia.
And I thought I was going to start crying after Dave's speech. You know, I've done many trials, and Dave will tell you the same thing. The hardest part of doing a trial in the opening and closing arguments is walking up to the podium, because you feel like you got 1,000 eyes on you. That's the hardest part. Once you get up here, you're hiding behind the podium, so it makes it a little easier. First of all, I want to thank the circuit judges. You know, all of them personally, I want to thank you for, appointing me this judgeship. I think that it was, that these judges, are seeing what the Hispanic community, the Latino community needs, and have stepped forward and done that. I especially want to thank Judge Schoenstedt, Judge Allen, Judge Gomorrah, Judge Jones, Judge, I'm beginning to forget all the names now, but all the judges that came up to me and I've never hugged or kissed so many judges in my whole life. It's amazing. That gave me such a gracious, when I came up and said that they were happy, and it was heartfelt, and I felt it that way. Judge Cristo, Judge Goodman, and it was a long road to get to here. It wasn't an easy road. I don't make any excuses. It was hard work. It was a lot of years of working a full-time job and going to school at night. I apologize to my children, and I thank them, because at every point of my life they were there, because I went back when I was older. They were there when I graduated out of college, and they were there when I graduated out of law school. They were there when I got the envelope from the bar saying that I passed. And I think everybody that's attorneys know that they always tell you that if you get the big envelope, you failed, and if you get the small envelope, you passed the bar. And I just thought they ran out of the big envelopes when I got it. Luckily, I was wrong. I want to thank the attorneys here in Will County, because I came into Will County from outside, and from the moment I was here, even though I was a threat to their practice because I was really the only Latino attorney here, they always treated me fairly. They always helped me. I always felt like I could pick up the phone and call any of them, and they would help me out. So they never felt threatened. They always took me in. And the same thing with the judges here. When I first started here, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I knew what I was doing, but they always treated me with respect. Always gave me that, like, are you sure about that? Give me a hint. And, I've always tried to be the same way. I always wanted to be the same way with fellow attorneys coming in. When the new attorneys came in and they wanted my help, I always gave them my help. I didn't see them as a threat. I didn't see them as somebody who was going to take money out of my pocket. It was, somebody that I had to help because I was helped when I came in here. I want to thank, people like John Montalongo, who, we've done a lot of trials together. And I know that sometimes we seem more like a comedy team than actual two attorneys, but we've done trials in many, many of the counties. We've won some, we've lost some, but we never cried in our coffee when we lost. Because you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, and that's the way it is. You lose some that you thought you should have won, and you win some that you were sure you were going to lose. So you can't really cry about that. You just got to keep chugging along. I want to thank somebody like Ben Marino, who from the moment I came here always treated me fairly and always treated me, with respect. Here's a guy that sits able, and in my eyes, he's the tallest guy in that courtroom. I mean, he's a good guy. I've been told, when I first found out and people started hearing, they started asking me, how do you feel? and I, you know, and what I felt was proud, and it wasn't pride brought out because I'm the first Latino judge in Will County. It was just I've always been proud of being Latino. I mean, we're a big culture. You know, you see me, I'm Puerto Rican. There's Mexicans. There's Colombian. You know, you can't get rid of us. You'll find us everywhere in the world. Yeah, everywhere in the world you're gonna find a Latino. And we all speak Spanish, but it's all different Spanish. It's, you know, you have to learn all the different dialects and the different slangs and so on. And I've always been proud of that. I've always been proud of being Latino. I have never wanted to be anything else. I'm proud of the guys and the girls that are crossing over the border, trying to make a new life for themselves. I'm proud of the farm workers that pick fruit, and Cesar Chavez, who fought for the Latinos in this country to get rights. I'm proud of the guys that come and they fix our houses, they build our houses, they cut our lawns, they put our roofs on, they cook for us, you know, in Chinese restaurants. You know, you go to a Chinese restaurant, there's Latino cooking, and the Italian restaurants, Latino cooking. It's amazing. You know, I'm proud of the new attorneys coming up, like, you know, Mary Helen Reina and Jessica Colon Sayer. I'm proud of them, and I'm proud of, you know, the Latinos that have gone into Congress, and our senators and our representatives. I'm proud of Sonia Sotomayor, Justice of the Supreme Court. But, you know, the thing that I'm mostly proud of is being part of this judiciary, part of these guys that have sent a message to the Latino community and has told them that they're not being ignored, that they are going to be represented, and that there's going to be justice at this courthouse. I'm really proud of being part of them. They also asked me, congratulated me, but you have to give credit where credit is due. There's two people that have, you know, I've worked hard, there's no doubt about it, but working hard is not enough. You have to have these goals, and then you have to have somebody that's going to push you. With me, it was my mother. She was a hard taskmaster. You know, I was more afraid of my mother than the gangs, okay? You know, I was so afraid of my mother that now, you know, I respect women. I've always respected women, but when I have a female judge, I'm afraid to. That's why I always look nervous when I was in front of the female. This is my mother, you know. She, you know, my only regret is that she's not, you know, here. She died at a young age, and she's not here. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be standing up here. And second of all is my wife, Chris. I mean, we started with an apartment with no furniture. You know, I told her that I wanted to be a lawyer, and she always believed in me. Always had my back. We were always together. 15 years ago, she started working in my office with me, which people can't believe that you know, you can do. We're with each other 24 hours a day. It's going to be hard to be on the bench and not turn around and not see Chris. But she was always with me, and she deserves, you know, the credit. I mean, I married her, and she pushed me, and not actually pushed me, just believed in me. But no, I guess she did push me. All right, I'll admit it. I want to thank my kids and apologize to them because, you know, in times when I should have been there, I was working in law school, and they were always with me. Like I said earlier, they were always happy for me and always congratulated, and hopefully don't hold any grudges. I mean, they told me they didn't, but who knows? And I want to thank the Latino community, because the Latino community made it possible for me to be successful. And I just want to say to them, gracias por el tiempo que me dieron, la oportunidad que me dieron para representarlos. Y te voy a jurar que en esta corte la justicia va a ser igual. Thank you very much.
Finally, I'd like to thank you all again for coming, and I'd like to thank specifically those from our offices that made this happen and put this together, specifically my court administrator, Kurt Sangmeister, and my head bailiff, Jack Sussner, and his bailiffs. And most specifically, I would like to thank my assistants, Paula, Luann, Ann, and Crystal. Thank you all very much for helping. Thank you. If any of you have any complaints, see them. Any compliments, go to me. So, all right. To the two Daves, to Judge Carlson and Judge Garcia, you have the afternoon off. Enjoy it. Tomorrow we will put you to work. Judge Carlson is going to be our floater, which means that he will do virtually everything that we need him to do in any courtroom that he needs to be in. Judge Garcia is going to be a judge in our family division. So starting tomorrow, they will have files and they will be to work. So try to remember to show up tomorrow. So I'm sort of guessing that you will. Now, the last thing I'd like to say is that both Judges Carlson and Garcia have receptions, and that everybody in this room is invited to those receptions. Judge Garcia's reception is going to be today from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It will be at Azteca de Oro. Did I come close? All right. It's located at 1013 North Collins Street in Joliet. And again, you're all welcome from 4 to 8. Judge Carlson, his reception is going to be tomorrow, Thursday. And again, everybody in this room is invited. That will be tomorrow evening from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at White Eagle Country Club in Naperville. With that, I thank you all for coming, and that concludes this ceremony. This court stands in recess. Thank you all very much.